What is going on, guys? Welcome back. I am so excited to announce what I have going here. This is episode 1 of the Tflip show. This is something I've been talking about, working for, and just all behind the scenes stuff that you guys may or may not have heard. I'm so excited for what's to come here. So here on YouTube, what you're seeing right now will be the highlights of the conversations I have with different people as I go here. To find the full, raw, uncut conversation, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. Here on YouTube, though, you'll have the video and just the cut-up version of our conversation. We are doing an interview with no other than Packee. Guy is a beyond interesting, down-to-earth, great dude. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. Real quick before I let you guys get jumped into the video here, the Tflip merch is live, something I was very excited for to drop. So we have a few items up for sale, ready to go, and more coming. So not only will you get some fresh, clean looking merch, you'll also be supporting me, which means the world to me. Words can be put into it. So you can find my merch on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, but if you can't find it on anyone there, I'll go ahead and drop a link down in the description below for you guys to go check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And the goal is we're going to try and get 2 episodes per month. So get used to this. This is going to become a regular thing. So with that being said, guys, enjoy, and thank you so much for watching. We're good? We're live? Welcome, Cam.
We're live.
How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Exciting. Episode 1. How's it feel? First guest?
Man, honored.
Honored.
I'm
oh,
honored,
come on.
bro.
I'm honored. I'm so excited, man.
Thanks for
I'm so
having me
happy to
on,
have
man.
you.
Thanks for having me on.
So, Cam, tell me a little about yourself, man. Tell me what you're all about, who you are.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm a music video director. I'm an artist management, so I do artist relations management, and kind of a whole lot in the media world in country music. So I work with a handful of very talented artists that, like to... I like to pick my artists specifically as people who inspire other people. So specifically artists that are, touching to their fans. So I picked a lot of artists specifically like Blanco Brown, Ethan Payne. I've worked with Lainey Wilson, a lot of other big artists in Nashville.
How do you go about sorry to interrupt. How do you go about picking these guys? Like, or ladies too?
I kind of just, I've done a lot of shows growing up just kind of for free and kind of helping out my buddy Nate Deaton from 95.3 KRTY in the Bay Area.
Awesome guy.
Fantastic. And so he's kind of brought me to a lot of shows, and he's helped me kind of introduce me to a lot of people, and then I've kind of helped return the favor by doing some work for him and kind of content for him. And so that's led me to meeting a lot of really cool people like Dan and Shay and Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, a ton of really awesome big names that, everyone would know in country music.
Right.
And so I did a show in, where was it? Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was Summerfest. Summerfest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it was a Dylan Scott show. And I was doing some photos and videos there. And I met Lainey Wilson. And Lainey was she was opening for Dylan that night. And Lainey, let me tell you something, man. Lainey is one of the just most badass, girls in country music right now. Dude, she is phenomenal. And her and I, we connected really well at that show and kind of just, we built a relationship almost immediately. Our relationship was started almost immediately.
That's awesome.
And then a month later, Nate hits me up. He's like, "Hey Cam, I got a show at this winery. It's with Chase Rice," and Lainey was opening for Chase, and so I was like, "Shoot, let's go, let's do it." So I did that show, and Blanco was also there.
That's crazy.
And so,
to be clear, this is Clos LaChance,
Clos LaChance,
right?
Yes, it was at Clos LaChance. And legendary, amazing place.
Right.
By the way,
beautiful.
Best venue for a concert.
It's crazy.
Best venue for a concert, man.
My girlfriend and I've been once or twice, and we love it. We went. There was it the artist showcase? What do they call it?
Oh, the songwriters.
Songwriters. Singer-songwriters.
Singer-songwriters.
Yeah. Incredible, beautiful place.
Oh man, it's phenomenal. And so, there's no better venue for a concert. Anyways, Chase Rice was playing there, and he had Blanco and Lainey as well at that venue. And so I was like, all right. So Chase is obviously a phenomenal artist, so I'm going to go film for Chase. And then Lainey just happens to be there too.
Yeah.
And so then hung out with Lainey, hung out with Chase, and then met this guy Blanco Brown, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what's this guy's deal? Like, who is he? He got up on stage, man, and he took that crowd by like, I mean, everyone was on their feet dancing, everyone was going crazy, everyone was having an amazing time, and he said something at the end of his show that really like hit me, dude. It hit me, dude, it was nuts. Yeah. He said, "Love and purpose over everything. Chase dreams, not money. Like bless it," or something like that. And I just remember after he said that, I was like, damn, like that's literally like my goal. And it's like what I preach to people. Yeah, you know, like I try to help people follow their dreams, help people like, I mean, go to their highest level of success. You know, that's my goal in life, is to try to help people do that. And so through all my videos, I like to do that. And so obviously it's pretty clear that Blanco and I would have connected very well, because I'm the same way as him. So we connected really well at that show. I did a show with Laney again down the road in Los Angeles. We did something in Hollywood. We did something in for San Diego. A couple of different shows. Blanco was at both of those too. And so then Blanco and I connected more. So then I'm doing Laney, I'm doing Blanco, and then we're just all kind of connecting. And then it turns out they're all on the same label. Chase Rice, Laney, Blanco, they're all on the same label. So then I'm working with them. I'm kind of working with the label. Like I'm going over to the label. Like I'm doing stuff with Blanco at the label, and then we're all kind of just connecting off that. And then poof, we. I mean, I don't really work with Laney too much anymore. She's a really good friend of mine, and we'll hang and whatnot. And I'm always down to help her with whatever. But
absolutely,
Blanco and I do a lot of his content. I just did a music video for him, and it's just.
And if I'm not wrong, I think I've seen on your Instagram, you FaceTime the guy even. Seems like you guys are buddies.
Oh, we're buddies. Oh, we're buddies, man.
That's a cool thing.
I promise you this, man. At least once a week, I'll be getting a video from Blanco sent to me on Instagram or texted to me, and it is one of the stupidest, one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. It's every time, man. It's like we just have the same humor. We just connect really well, man. And I mean, there's a decent age difference between us, but it's just like we just connect so well, and so I'm blessed to have someone like him in my life, and kind of having him as a mentor and someone that can kind of help me. And I mean, same with Laney too. Like Laney, she helped me so much in this industry and kind of getting my start. So I'm blessed for both of them, man, for real.
While you're talking about Blanco, back up real quick for some viewers that might not know Blanco, but maybe they're on TikTok or stuff like that. His hit song, I think a lot of people know, right? It's his number one. Correct me on the name if I'm wrong, but is it Cowboy Boogie? Is that what it's called?
So it's called The Get Up.
The Get Up.
So it's the Cowboy Boogie is in that song. It's that's a gonna do the two-step and Cowboy Boogie. Yeah. So that's his song, man. I love it. It's such a fun song. It's such a it's really an interesting vibe. It's like it's something that you don't hear a lot in country music, and so
you don't.
Not at all. And so to have that kind of, I mean, it was such a groundbreaking like song, and he created his own genre basically of music, of like country music in a sense, mixed with like rap music with those trap music. It's called trailer trap is what he calls it. And so man, he used like that song as like he would do a much better job explaining the whole like background of the song, but it's just such a positive, uplifting song, like get up, have fun, like, and so I don't know, that's just he's all about positivity, and that's obviously why we connect.
Yeah.
It's perfect, man.
It's funny, I didn't really have a face behind the Get Up. I knew the Get Up. My girlfriend's doing TikTok dances, and I had no idea what song this was and who the face was behind it until truthfully I started seeing him on your Instagram. I was like, oh, this is the Get Up guy, so seems like a truly incredible guy. It's incredible that, the way things happen and the way you met him. So, we're talking about all your connections, the things you've done. You brought up Lainey Wilson. I want to go back and focus on her a little bit. Specifically so, you were at the Grand Ole Opry with her, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Probably one of the most historical places in the country music world. Tell me a little bit about that. What was that like, your experience there? Was that your first time there?
Yeah, man. I think I was blessed and honored to have my first time at the Grand Ole Opry be the full backstage, all access experience.
Incredible.
That it's just, man, I've always just heard the most amazing things about that place. And it's obviously, it's legendary. It's historical. It's it's the place. It's like, you've made it in country music when you play the Grand Ole Opry.
No kidding.
You know, it's something that all country artists dream of. And so,
Yeah.
To be asked to come along with Lainey and her team and her family and everyone to the Grand Ole Opry for her Opry debut was just, I mean, a blessing, man. Like, it literally, like, you could feel the history in that place. Like, you walk in the doors and you're like, damn, like, there is some serious history here, and you literally feel it. And when she was doing her sound check and stuff, when I walked out on stage with her and I was kind of taking some pictures and whatnot, and we were just hanging, and she was standing on the circle. So there's like the circle. I don't know the full history behind the circle, to be honest with you, but it's realistically, it's where you stand when you perform at the Grand Ole Opry. It's where the mic stand is. It's where, you know, and that just right there is like, seeing that, like, literally on stage with that circle is an experience that I can't even explain. It was just incredible.
Now, did you get to stand on that circle? Did you get to walk onto that stage during sound check or whatnot and get to stand on said circle?
You know what? I did everything to avoid standing in the circle.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Why avoid it?
The reason why I wanted to avoid it is because it's such a powerful, I mean, it's for country music artists.
It's almost sacred.
Obviously, yeah, exactly. And so I just felt like it would have been I just don't think I'm not worthy, to stand in the circle. I'm not a country music artist. And so I think that circle should be for the artists and for the people who have that was Lainey's day. And that's really what it was. It was her day. It's like her chance to stand on that circle, her chance to like take it all in. And so I kind of just stood back, did my thing, let her do her thing. But at the same time, I still felt like the positivity and like the historical vibes there, man. It was great. Not even standing on the circle, man. Just being there.
I can imagine. It's something that the slightest bit of a country music fan, that's something you dream of just going to see. I grew up listening to country music, so I can only imagine just being in the energy that you just feel walking through the doors that you talk about.
Yeah,
that's clearly something special.
Yeah, man. It was cool for sure.
So let's back up a little bit. We kind of fast forward, jumped right into. I love that. I love just right into the action. But let's talk about Cam for a minute. Where did this start? Talking about content creation, music videos, all this stuff, videographer work. Let's back it up and talk about where did this all begin? When did it click for you?
Man, I had a little bit of a rough growing up. I had a lot of being adopted, going into a family. There's a lot of loss in that family. And so being adopted into a family where you're losing a lot of people, it's kind of hard to like, really find the will to like do anything or really the will to want to like proceed with life. And so I was at a point where I was just super defiant and just like not really the greatest kid. I was getting in trouble all the time. I was a mess.
Yeah.
And, I one day realized like, whoa, I need to change something up. Like, this is not how I can do things. Like, this is not it. I need to find something that takes my mind off all the pain and just everything. So what I did was I kind of started doing some sports. So I did some swimming, I did some football, I did a little bit of basketball. Like, I hated basketball so much, but I love just being a part of, like a sport or like
a team.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
And so from there, I kind of took that into high school. I did some freshman football in high school. And then after that, I kind of just stopped. And I realized that this sports, me playing sports is not what's going to get me somewhere in life. Like, because I had to look at like my future as well. And so realizing that me playing sports was not something for my future, I decided like I need to move on and do something else. So what I decided to do was take on film. Because that's something else I was good at. And it was just me just messing around with the camera, me just messing around doing, whatever, just joking around with the camera, not really knowing what I was doing, but making little videos. And I found something fun in that, and I saw that a lot of people were liking that, and that they were liking my content and stuff that I was making. And it wasn't just my parents. Like, my parents are the type of people to, like, tell me if they don't like something. So to hear them say, like, whoa, this video is cool, like, you actually have, like, potential in this video, like, this is sick. To hear that from my parents was like huge. So
what age was that at?
Oh man, I was like 7th grade, 8th grade, something like that. Like not too young, not too old. Just kind of growing up.
Yeah,
childhood.
Growing up,
Yeah. So I started to take on film in school as well. So I won an award in 8th grade called a Quest Award, and it was for my video production. So I did one of the first ever 3D films, and I was like pretty much the youngest kid to make a 3D film.
Yeah.
And so I got an award for that, and that really was like an awakening for me, where it's like I have potential in this.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just, went on from there and started filming more, started doing more, and then I reached out to Robert Bronstein from Cal High Sports, which at the time was Cal High Sports Bay Area.
Right.
And it was this TV show in the Bay Area that I mean, that's where we met, man. That's
right,
kind of,
exactly.
so, but I reached out to Robert, and I was like, hey, man, like, I would love to work with you guys. Like, I would love to do this. He said, sorry, man, our position's filled. All our positions are filled, but like, you send me some of your stuff or whatever. Sent him some of my stuff. He eventually kind of saw everything and started taking a look at, everything that I was doing. And he's like, whoa, man, like your stuff is pretty good. Like, let's talk about maybe like an internship or something. Like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Might be interning for a TV show at 14, 15 years old. Like, this is kind of nuts.
Yeah, no doubt.
So he liked everything. We worked everything out. And a couple months later, I was doing an internship for him. We went out and filmed this. We filmed a basketball player. I don't remember her name, but her parents were like deaf or something in that realm. And it was a powerful story. It was a motivational story, and like how she kind of like moved on in life, having deaf parents, having deaf family, but she wasn't deaf and she wanted to play basketball. So once again, that's one of those really inspirational stories that like
absolutely
hits my heart. So it's like, whoa, this is cool that I'm being led to do this. So after that, I was like, Robert, can I come on some more stuff with you? He said, yeah, absolutely. Started taking me on a bunch more story shoots and just all that, and I really started to get some more experience in it. And he's like, hey, I'd like to hire you on next year. Like, let's do something. Let's get you on the team. So right after I said yes to that, the Cal High Sports Bay Area team signed to the 49ers. And so then it turned into 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
Yeah.
So then I'm this little 15-year-old kid walking around Levi Stadium at 11 o'clock at night after our high school football games, and I'm editing all these videos, sending them to the TV stations and all this stuff, and I'm 15 years old. And it's like, whoa, like, I'm doing something right now. Now I got my vibes up. So
yeah.
I started working for just a lot of different people who wanted different projects and whatnot. I got hired by this company called Tflip Elite, which a guy from my school owns, Chris McSwain.
Yep.
He hired me on to do like a season with this team called Tyler Johnson Elite.
Okay.
And it was sponsored by Tyler Johnson from at the time Miami Heat. He plays for the Suns now, I believe.
Yeah.
But Tyler went to St. Francis.
Right.
And so that's how kind of that whole connection was made through Robert, because Robert used to film Tyler.
Right.
And so now I have this Cal High Sports is kind of introducing me into a whole new realm of like
exactly. Whole new door.
Exactly. Yeah. So another door was open, and it's like all these doors, kept opening for me with this whole thing with Tyler, and that team, and then it kind of went to like different sporting events, 7-on-7 football tournaments,
right?
More basketball, more stories with Robert, more just like growing, and then eventually was like, let's try something else out too. So I threw some music in there, did some rap music. I was working with a lot of rap artists, just local Bay Area rap artists. And then I did a rap music video one time. And in that music video, there was a gun being pointed right at the camera while I was filming. It was loaded, one in the chamber, safety off, and he was just messing around with the hand on the trigger, or finger on the trigger. And so when that happened, I was like,
yeah, not my realm, huh? That's crazy.
Don't want to be in this anymore.
So what do you do in that moment? Did you say something?
I didn't say a word.
Just finish the work, got out of there?
I didn't say a word. I kind of just got out of there. I was kind of shocked. I was like, I mean, what do you like? I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, this might just be normal. It was one of my first music videos. Yeah. In rap music, and I'd seen it in rap music videos before where people have their guns and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, I'm safe, but like.
One in the chamber.
It could be an accident, bro. Like, he could
God.
Accidentally just touch that trigger, and I'm going.
And there's no need for it.
There's not. There's no need for it. And so it wasn't like he was, trying to rob me or anything.
No.
But just the fact that, like, that was in the video, and that was, it was just a weird vibe for me. So
Yeah.
I kind of left rap music and started country.
Right.
And then the whole thing with Nate happened. My dad is like golfing buddies with Nate, so I got introduced to Nate. Nate started bringing me on the shows. My first big show was Dan and Shay, and then it went from Dan and Shay to Walker Hayes, from Walker Hayes to Maren Morris's husband, Ryan Hurd. We did Gabby Barrett, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Chase Rice, like all these big names in country. Went out to Nashville for the first time. Went out to the Grand Ole Opry with Laney, like we talked about.
Yeah.
One thing led to another. Now I'm leasing a house out there, and it's just the whole thing, man.
So let's visit that. You mentioned it. It's talking about COVID.
Yeah.
This pandemic beyond the United States, across the world, has affected people beyond belief.
Right.
Let's talk about focus on your interest of what's happening with Cam. What's happening with Cam? And how is going from on tour with all these guys, Blanco Brown, Lainey Wilson, on tour with them, and then here we are locked up, borderline, for a important period of time, and who knows going forth how long this thing could last. How has that affected you, the pandemic, and what you got going here?
It's kind of sucked.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, a lot of the making a living in this industry is off shows.
Absolutely.
So coming from at the beginning of this year, and I mean literally like at the very beginning. Well, I mean technically the end of last year is when I dropped out of college in December, or maybe it was January, December or January. I don't know, but earlier this year pretty much is when I dropped out of college. And so going from that to like, okay, I just dropped out. 2 days later, I'm going on the Chris Lane tour with Blanco. So then it's me, Blanco, Chris Lane, Ernest, and Mackenzie Porter. And we were all going out on the road. We did just a ton of shows, and it was just so much fun. And I'm like, whoa, I made such a good decision dropping out of school. Like, this is great. Like, this is phenomenal. I'm loving my life, and I'm also making a living at the same time. So it's like killing 1,000 birds with one stone. It's perfect.
Love what you do. That's
exactly.
What you say.
So then after that, I literally I don't even know how, probably a week after that, I went out to Nashville for the Opry thing with Lainey, and then pretty soon after that, I went on a short run with her and Justin Moore on the Justin Moore tour, and Tracy Lawrence. So we did that. That was awesome. And then pretty quick after that, I went to back-to-back dates with Blanco at the Opry. So then it's all these Opry dates, it's all these big things happening.
Yeah,
we're like,
huge.
whoa, this is insane. And then all of a sudden, dude, like the world it went crazy.
Shut down. Done.
But even before that, I was at Blanco and I went to a Predators game with a couple buddies of ours. And we leave the Predators game. It's a beautiful night. I'm going back to Lainey's house because that's where she was kind of letting me stay with her. Go back to Lainey's house. All of a sudden, all these tornado sirens start going off. I'm like,
What?
oh my gosh, this is like what is happening right now.
What state is this in?
This is in Nashville, Tennessee.
In Nashville, okay.
Yeah,
Continue.
so
Sorry.
I'm at Lainey's house, and all these sirens are going off. I'm like, whoa, this is not good. I don't know what to do. I'm a California boy.
I was going to say California boy. I wouldn't know what to do.
I don't know what to do during
I
a
don't want the
tornado,
ground
bro.
start shaking, getting under the table,
Exactly.
Tornado
Exactly.
siren.
Get under the table, bro. That's what we were taught in school. I don't think in school in California I was taught to, shove a bunch of mattresses up in the bathroom in the middle of the house because a tornado's about to come.
See, I just learned something new right there. I didn't even know that.
Unless you have a basement. If you have a basement, go in your basement. But
Sure.
for some reason, a lot of houses in Nashville don't have a basement.
Okay.
Like most houses don't.
Okay.
So at that point, you just go to the center of the house and you just protect yourself and whatnot. But we didn't think it was too serious. Like Lainey and her roommate Casey got home and they were like it's not too serious. Like let's kind of wait it out. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And then we were watching the TV the whole time and it looks like it kind of just went past us.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, we're cool. We're safe.
Yeah.
Like this is good. Like we're safe. I wake up the next morning and they're like, we're going to go down and help out. And I was like, what do you mean we're going to go help out? It turned out that it was the biggest, or most damaging tornado in Nashville history.
You're kidding.
So then Nashville is demolished, and that's just the beginning of hell.
Yeah.
So then right after Nashville, it's all the fires and stuff in California. Then COVID hits, and then just everything just turns. It's bad. It's all bad.
Seemed like a domino effect,
Dude, it's
almost.
literally it's this year has been a year full of one thing after another, and yes, COVID has been the worst. So from going from all these shows, doing all these awesome things in Nashville, trying to find a place in Nashville, doing all that, to COVID hitting, not making almost any money, being screwed over by not being able to do shows. Like the election's been insane. It's like regardless of which way we go, there's going to be people that are throwing a fit. So it's like, then the whole world's like everyone's butting heads, everyone's getting mad. It's like, it's just, there's so much like pain and so much craziness in the world. And on top of that, we just have like everything's closed for me pretty much. Yeah. So like my whole industry, and it's not even just me, that the entire industry is like, we rely off shows. We rely off like a lot of like TV shows. We rely off like, I don't know, just a ton of like media and just being out in public. We rely on life being without COVID pretty much.
Exactly.
I mean, like, so the fact that we can't do shows is really screwing things up, man. I'm not going to lie to you.
Hard.
I mean, we've like, Florida's open, so we kind of did some shows in Florida recently. But like, aside from that, man, I have not done like any shows this year. So it's been a difficult year. No lie. It's been tough.
Yeah. I can only imagine, for someone like you, and then you kind of tie in for what you're doing here. You tie in with these artists who are, the show, who are running the show. So I can't imagine, if we were to sit down here with Blanco and talk to him about how it's affected him, I can't imagine what he has to say, as well. It's something incredible. It's something, optimistically, I think what I think about is the fact that, we're living in history. I look at glass half full. Yeah, this sucks for everyone. No matter what you're doing right now, it sucks. But, we're living through history. So this is something that we're relatively close in age. Our grandchildren are going to be they're going to be opening the history books in history class. Yeah. If they even got books, who knows? They got paper books and
iPads and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. Point is, though, they're going to see about the pandemic of 2020. To us, right now, in this moment, that sounds bizarre,
Yeah.
But optimistically looking at it right now, that's something that, hey, I was there during that. I could tell you about my experience,
Right.
Because I know you and I'm sure you could say the same things. I remember asking my parents, I was alive, but asked my parents what it was like on 9/11. What were they doing?
Yeah.
I was young. I was alive. I was born in 99, so I was too young to remember. Point is, it's that same idea, I feel like. So
yeah.
I feel like while this is all terrible stuff happening day after day here, month after month, it's something that take it into account, right? It's just bizarre. Point is, I'll stop rambling here. Point is, it's just bizarre. So
yeah, man, that's a good point. And honestly, I'm gonna touch on that for a sec.
Please do. No,
I like the half empty, half full. I love that. I love that too. And so that's why I'm looking at this situation as a time to like build myself and really plan out my future and whatnot. So although it may suck for a lot of us, like not being able to do shows, like another band I work with, Parmley, thanks to that, we're doing a lot of like content projects. So we're doing like TV show style projects. We're doing like a lot of like really cool content projects that we can still connect with all the fans.
Yeah.
But at the same time, doing it safely without having to necessarily worry about COVID. So there's a lot of that going on as well. So it's not totally shut down. It is hard not being able to do shows, but there's still a lot of positives to it, and that's the way I like to look at things.
Right.
Because I know I touched a lot on positivity, so instead of just shutting it down and being like everything sucks, I really needed to make it clear that like we really love our fans. Like everyone loves.
Absolutely.
We love all the fans. Like all everyone I work with, we all love all the fans. And so realistically, even though we can't do shows, because I know fans are missing out on shows too. I know that's a fact.
Yeah.
So even though they can't come to a show, even though we can't perform a show, we're still going to connect with them through media. And that's where my job is really coming in clutch here.
Yeah, no
is
kidding.
Because we're doing a lot of media things to connect with fans. And so TV show style, like little live performances, acoustic videos, extra music videos, or whatever it may be, like we're doing everything we can to still connect with fans, even though it's not shows.
So talking about you a little bit, let's talk about you as a content creator. What are your goals? You've gotten to this point we've heard about. We don't need to revisit that. You've already done amazing things. We know in the world of content creation, you got to keep reaching. You got to, okay, here's one bar. Okay, here's the next bar, right? I can only assume that. What are your goals? What do you got looking ahead for you from this moment right here forward?
So, it's fun. I was just asked this question on an interview the other day. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself kind of like building into a completely like unheard of, completely new empire in the music industry and country music specifically. I want to be able to take a lot of the unheard voices in country music, a lot of the upcoming country artists that no one's really heard, and I want to take them at least in minimum these next or maximum these next 5 years and take these artists to the next level.
Yeah.
I want them to be on top, and so that's kind of just like finding a lot of littler artists like that are maybe struggling to find out like which way to go first, like what do I do, how do I get started and whatnot. And I'm kind of using my connections and a lot of like what I do. So I'll use content, I'll use people I know, whatever I need to do to get these artists to a manager, to a label, to whatever it may be. And that's basically my version of like artist relations management, in a sense of like connecting them with the right people, right, and giving them the right tools to put their name on top.
Well, it sounds like you're beyond set. The young age you are, you're talking about 5 years,
Yeah.
You're so young, so you got forever to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's awesome that you're at the point that you are now, and you got an even bigger, shot for you here and you're setting for it. So that's awesome. So you talk about, new and upcoming artists, and I hopefully I don't want to offend Ethan here, but Ethan Payne's the guy seems like new that you've been working with, and the guy actually I haven't truly heard of. Maybe I'm living under a rock, but tell me about Ethan, your involvement with Ethan here.
Ethan, man, I love that kid to death. We connected pretty damn quick, man. We connected immediately. I believe I was doing a Jared Neiman show for KRTY when I got a video sent to me of Ethan.
Okay.
And I saw him, man, and I was so blown away at how good this kid was. He was just one of the most talented, one of the most humbled. He had an old soul, for his age. I mean, dude's 17 years old. He seems like he's
17.
And he's 17 years old. Seems like he's like 25, man, at least. Like, this kid is just so talented. He's so humble. Wow. And he's got a phenomenal personality. And seeing that in him, I was like, I need to work with this kid.
Yeah.
So using the powers of social media, I reached out to him. And then we started talking. 3 months later, I was out in Macon, Georgia, his hometown, filming 2 of his brand new music videos that are out now, for his 2 most recent songs. And yeah, man, that's awesome. That's how we connected. But I'm basically, my job with Ethan is I'm his creative director. So I do like all his content, music videos, like show content, whatever it is, album covers, all that. But on top of that, I do kind of like artist relations stuff for him as well. I help introduce him to songwriters that are, hit songwriters out in Nashville.
Right.
Tyler Reeve, for example, he wrote the Brett Young hit, In Case You Didn't Know.
Of course. As
well as like someone like Cole Taylor, who wrote a lot of Florida Georgia Line. Like a lot. Those are just some examples of kind of people I've introduced him to and helped. I'm just kind of making those, connecting all the dots. Basically, is what I'm trying to do with Ethan. Is help him alongside his manager, and his mom, and just the rest of his team, help him get to be as big as he can possibly be. And I really don't see it being too long from now until he's on top. So
if you don't mind me bluntly asking you, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
And you're doing all this at 19 years old with all these connections, and you're doing a 17-year-old who could have been in high school with you, but obviously not in the same class,
mm-hmm.
and you're taking him under your wing.
Yep.
This is, Cam, you realize how I'm sorry to reiterate this. I'm a broken record here. How special that is, man. That is beyond cool what you're doing for guys like Ethan Payne. Because he's new on the scene, right? Was I wrong there?
No, you're right. He's upcoming, man.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I mean, hopefully myself and anyone else watching, anyone who wants to invest in Ethan Payne, we know who to, beyond his talent, who to credit, right? This guy Cam, who's behind the scenes working for him. So that is so cool, man.
Appreciate it, man.
So on that note, let's talk about one last thing. I think this is my last subject I want to ask you, is that what's your advice for younger kids looking at you, whether they're 17, 15, 12? I don't care their age, or older. It doesn't matter. Point is, what's your advice for them? You're doing what you're doing at this point and looking ahead. How do people get to where you're at?
Man, I wrote a whole book at the beginning of quarantine as well, based off pretty much exactly this question. I think it's just really looking at where you want to go and not really letting anything hold you back. I think it's a lot on. Oh man, this is a big question.
It is. So the last topic, I was gonna hit you hard.
Yeah,
here.
no, it hit me hard, man. I really love just watching people grow, and so that's why I love this question a lot. And so, I guess my advice, man, is just go for it. You really you can do whatever you set your mind to, and that's, I mean, I'm living proof of that, man. I didn't do the best in high school. I dropped out of college. I was not the best student in college either. Like, I was not the best student, and so for me, that's why school kind of wasn't for me. Now, I'm not gonna go and tell everyone like, go drop out of college. Yeah. Don't do that. Like, but if you have a path set up for you and you know that college is not your thing, and man, if that's what you want to do, if you want to go out and you want to follow that dream, go follow that dream. Have a path set up before you drop that, because that's something, that's a big step, and it's really risky, and it was risky for me. But at the end of the day, for me, I had my path set up. And so I would basically, probably my advice I would give to someone is don't let anything stop you, Yeah. Just figure out a way to make everything work in the sense of following your dreams and really just going for it.
I love that. It's an incredible message, and it's I think you couldn't have said it any better. Truthfully so.
Thank you. Thank you much.
So we're wrapping up the show here. Now's the time, Cam, if you want to credit your website or anything, you want to kind of call that out. I know your website's something special you got going, your Instagram. Any shout outs you got, I want you to take the time here to credit them.
Sure, man. It's just my website. It's www.cameronpackee.com. Instagram @CameronPackieStudio. I'm not going to shout out my other social media because I don't need anyone seeing my TikToks or anything like that. So,
your get-ups, you practicing on them?
I don't need to see my get-up videos, that's for sure. Oh, man. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much it from me, man.
Hey, well, Cam, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Man. Episode 1 here, hopefully this is a historical moment.
Yes, sir.
So I'm incredibly honored and happy you took the time to join me.
Thank you, man.
And I'm excited to see what you got going for you, Cam.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. I look forward to catching you guys next time. Peace.